the Dawgs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
Hey, what's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast presented by Mailing Bands. Josh All doing another Dog Pack Discord live show today. Had to take last week off. I was on vacation, wasn't able to make this work. But we are back. We are here on Thursday afternoon previewing the upcoming game between the Browns and Vikings over in London on Sunday morning. So make sure you guys are setting your alarms for the morning on Sunday. We're going to dive into everything. We've got big headlines and news to discuss on this show. If you guys want to jump up here on stage, like I said before we started, get your hands up and we'll bring you up here in a minute. And if you want to be, if you're listening or watching this after the fact, after this is already released and published, make sure you guys go to jointhedawgs.com. If you want to be part of these Dog Pack Discord episodes in the future, join the Patreon, sync up with the private Discord, get in here, chat with everybody 24/7, hang out with the Dog Pack, these diehard Browns fans that we love, and you guys are the best. So let's do it. Let's dive into this game. There's no point in beating around the bush. Like I said before we started, we've got the Guardians/Indians. Let's see, it's 3:03 when we're starting this. So by the time you guys who are not in the Dog Pack watching, listening to this, the game is already underway, or heck, maybe it's even over. So you know the outcome. But right now we are holding out hope that our tribe, or whatever you call them nowadays, guards ball, can pull out a victory today and move on here in the playoffs. But for this episode, for our Browns show, we got to talk about the Minnesota Vikings 2-2 taking on the Cleveland Browns 1-3 over in London. Minnesota coming into this game 3.5-point favorites. This game has an over-under, guys, a total of just 35.5 points. So it's easily the lowest point total on the Week 5 slate. So obviously the odds makers are not anticipating a whole lot of offensive output on either side of the ball in this game. Like I said at the beginning, remember, this is the London game this weekend. So set your alarms, especially all you poor souls out there on the West Coast. You guys got to be up before 6:30 a.m. to watch kickoff, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's on NFL Network on Sunday morning. So the Vikings playing their second straight game now overseas. Guys in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe last week was in Ireland. Wasn't it the Dublin game, I believe? And they were coming off what looked like it was about to be a butt whooping by the Steelers. Minnesota battled back, made it a close game in the end. They ended up losing. And the Browns are coming off an actual full-fledged butt whooping by the Lions in Detroit. And, you know, we talked about it last week, how the Lions game was, if it didn't go well, which, you know, if you followed the first 3 weeks, it didn't look like it was probably going to go well. And it would most likely be the final game for Joe Flacco. And indeed it was. That brings us to the biggest headline for the week that I want to discuss with you guys. So if you've got your thoughts and opinions on Dillon Gabriel, now's the time to get your hands up, because it was announced that the Browns are going to start rookie quarterback Dillon Gabriel. Joe Flacco will move to the backup role, and fellow rookie Shedeur Sanders will remain the QB3/emergency quarterback. I'm sure we're going to get to some of that here in a bit, because there was another viral video yesterday. But first, let's talk about the young man from Hawaii who will be starting on Sunday. And I'm going to get Mr. Brad Moneymaker up here. Brad, how's it going, man?
Yo, what's up? Hello from the Smoky Mountains.
Oh, yeah? You up in the Smokies?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, you still got good reception.
Oh, I had that reception. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, you're good, man. Loud and clear. What's up? What do you got?
Okay.
What do you got going here?
I called it. I said, I put $20 on it. I said, Dillon Gabriel's going to start this week. And guess what? I was right.
Yeah. Made sense. Made sense.
Yeah. And then I like how everybody kept saying like the stadium wasn't going to happen, but I called it, I don't even know, like months and months and months and months ago.
Yeah.
You know, there's a couple hoops they had to jump through, but it was happening regardless. Like basically when they told off the city, they're like, yep, we're moving.
I mean, as soon as the announcement came out that they purchased the land, it was like, well, this is happening. I mean, it doesn't matter what opposition they put forward or what regulations they try to say they're breaking or whatever the case may be. This is happening. Like they're building the stadium one way or another. So we are underway.
You know what? I want to say something crazy, and it's going to be a hot take. I think we can beat the Vikings on Sunday.
Okay, well, maybe not as hot takey as you think, because we'll get into more of that here in a little bit as we preview this game. But I might be able to win the game. That's the key.
Yeah, I might be able to.
I'm there with you. If anyone out there is declaratively saying they are going to win, okay. I don't know about that, but
yeah, big faith.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm excited for the game. It's gonna be cool to be in London again. Hopefully, we have hopefully we win and have a better showing than the last time we were in London. Last time was rough, but
yes,
I think we have a better team than last time. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited for it, and I'm excited for the Tribe today. They're probably going to have another crazy late inning comeback or home run or something to win the game, because that's just how they've been playing the last 3 weeks. So
yeah, they definitely
let's
don't
go
like
try.
to,
Let's get to the next round.
Yeah, for sure. They don't like to get out ahead early. That's for sure.
No, never. They never have.
No. All right. Well, here I'm going to move you down. If you want to come back up here in a little bit, just get your hand back up. We'll get Stacy up here. Get some thoughts about this game or whatever's going on. Stacy, how you doing?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Great.
What's going on, Josh?
Great.
I'm at work, so I can't talk for too long.
Okay, no big deal.
I just wanted to mention one thing. So I've been scrolling through like my Facebook and all that stuff, just looking at, obviously everyone's talking about Dillon Gabriel starting, but I just wanted to say I'm getting kind of annoyed with these people that are like super frustrated that Shedor's not starting. Like, I'm a Shedor fan as well. I'm a Dillon Gabriel fan. I'm a whoever can win a game on the Browns fan.
Yep.
And I just think that that's how our attitude should be. Like, I just don't understand us having a quarterback or not having a quarterback for this long. Like, why are we trying to get picky and choosy about who we want to be in there? Like, we just need somebody who can put together a drive, literally, and just get some kind of energy going on offense. So I just think that's a little frustrating. We just need to be better as Browns fans and give Dillon Gabriel the chance he deserves. And then if he doesn't do well, then Shedeur, come on up,
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with you. We've been saying that since the draft. Like, just root for both these guys. Whoever can come in here, if either one can come in and make a difference and be the quarterback that helps us score points, which we don't do, and win games, which we don't do. I don't care which one it is. We just want to win. I'm tired of watching lackluster, boring football from this team that's just going to.
I just want to see some points on the board.
Yes.
Is it that much to ask for?
Nope, it is not that much to ask for, although it might be this week. I'm going to get into some stats here a little bit later about both these teams and why. I mean, the over-under is 35.5. I mean, every other game is well over 40 points for this week. So I don't know if points are going to come a lot in this game, but at least we could see if Dillon Gabriel can give the offense some sort of spark, because it has been
right.
very
Even if we
uninspired.
get field goals, like whatever we can get, just some kind of points on the board, however it might be. The defense just needs a little bit of help, and they can't be out there all day long.
No, because, this is another offense where they've got guys. They have very good players that if this defense starts to wear down because they're on the field the whole game, I mean, they're going to give up the big play to Justin Jefferson or Jordan Addison. They're going to get chunked away.
Addison just came back.
Yep.
Don't be shocked if he gets a touchdown.
Yeah, massive play last week against the Steelers.
Yep.
That's all it takes.
That's all I got, though.
Okay. Well, good to hear from you. I'm glad you came on. Yep, sorry. I'm glad you came up. Colton, I'm going to get to you in just a second. I want to run through some Dillon Gabriel stuff for everybody. Just as a reminder, I know it's been a little while since the draft and everything, so I wanted to go back through kind of his resume coming into the NFL out of Oregon and all that kind of stuff. So he's making his first NFL start, but the fun fact here is Dillon Gabriel will be the first quarterback to make his NFL debut overseas. And along with that, Dillon Gabriel himself has actually never been outside the U.S. before. So this is going to be his first time overseas in another country as well. So pretty cool for him, making, some NFL history here for the Browns. Just going back through some of this quick pre-draft stuff. High school, he broke Tua Tagovailoa's Hawaii State high school record for career passing yards. In 2019 at UCF is where he started college. He started 12 games. Let's see. I want to move forward through the UCF stuff. So let's see. That was 2020, 2021. And then in 2022, he went to Oklahoma. He was the Big 12 Offensive Newcomer of the Year. Started 12 games. 3,168 yards, 25 touchdowns to just 6 interceptions. And then in 2023, again at Oklahoma, first team all Big 12 ranked, tied for 8th with 30 passing touchdowns, again to just 6 interceptions. He was 9th in the nation with a 69.3 completion percentage, 3,660 passing yards, led the team with 12 rushing touchdowns. So he's got some mobility, some athleticism on the ground as well. Entered the transfer portal after that season, went to Oregon in 2024 last season. Third team Associated Press All-American, Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year, Quarterback of the Year, first team All Big Ten, finalist for the Heisman Trophy. He finished third in the voting there. Ranked second in the FBS with 72.9 completion rate, 7th in the nation with 3,857 passing yards, tied for 8th with 30 passing touchdowns, again to just 6 interceptions. Set the FBS record with 188 career total touchdowns and 63 starts at quarterback, which beat Bo Nix's previous record of 61. And he tied Case Keenum's FBS record with 155 career passing touchdowns, started all 14 games for the Ducks. He also had 7 touchdowns on the ground last year. Colton, I'm going to get you on up here. I just wanted to kind of go back through everything with Dillon Gabriel to remind everybody that this is a very well accomplished quarterback during his college career. Colton, I think you're on mute there.
Oh, my apologies there.
You're good.
Hey, so if I start screaming, it's because I got the Guards game going on in the background, so
Okay.
I apologize for that.
Cool.
But I'll be happy to share if it's good, bad, indifferent. But no, thanks for having me on, my friend. Just want to jump on today. I was going to read off a couple of the stats there about Dillon Gabriel, and what I think the most important thing that most people overlook is, did they win in college? And for me, a quarterback that's going to come in and lead my football team, you can look at all the stats of what they accomplished through college and whatnot, but did they make everybody around them better, and did they win? And him having 47 wins in college over the course of 6 years is one of the biggest defining factors to me of, okay, is he going to make that next guy up better? I think all the best quarterbacks that you could look at in the league, they might not have their best weapons week to week, but do they elevate that next man up and make them better? And I think that's what Dillon did over the course of 6 years. So I'm super excited just to kind of see the plan in place. And while I think the offense is going to be very, very vanilla this week, just to keep him safe, I am excited to see him go in and execute and not turn the ball over, most importantly. So thanks for having me on, man. Share whatever you'd like on that. I'm sure you could pick that apart, but I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Good to hear from you. Yeah. I mean, that is definitely a feather in the cap for Dillon Gabriel. He was a very winning college quarterback. He's good. I mean, he's a good, or at least in college, he was a good quarterback. I think the big thing about him coming into the NFL when the Browns drafted him was it felt like it was out of left field. None of the pre-draft analysts had Dillon Gabriel as like a top-ranked quarterback or anything like that. He was not in the discussions with the guys who could go first, second round. You know, you had your Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, and then Jalen Milrose and your Tyler Shucks, Jackson Darts. Those guys were being talked about pretty much whenever you talked about quarterbacks coming in 2025, those were the names. Dillon Gabriel was not on that list, but he was on the radar for the Browns from the very beginning. They brought him in for a pre-draft visit, and I think they identified him early as the guy they really wanted to go after in the draft. They obviously went out and held a private meeting and workout with him that nobody knew about until after they picked him. There were other teams that came out, and there's been reports now that, you know, he was probably going round 4 no matter what. So if the Browns really wanted him, they needed to make sure they got him, and they took him late 3rd round. It's not like they used an early 3rd round pick or anything like that. It was still 3rd. I get it. But, you know, and I think a lot of people are put off by the size, 5'10", 5'11", just a little over 200 pounds. He's a small quarterback. It wouldn't be the first time we've seen a small quarterback do something in the NFL. He wouldn't be the only small quarterback starting on Sunday. We'll have, Kyler Murray is a 5'10", 200 whatever pound quarterback. You've got Bryce Young, who's like 5'10". I don't even think he's 200 pounds. Like, he's super slight. So, I'm sorry. I wanted to also hear your thoughts on the muted. Okay, yeah, we're going to get to the miming interview from Shedeur. I knew you guys would want to talk about that. I want to talk about it too. But just to kind of wrap things up with Dillon Gabriel, it was touted all off season, all summer, mini camps, training camps, all that kind of stuff, his processing, the processing, the understanding of the offense, knowing where to go with the football, taking care of the football. Those were the things that we kept hearing talked about over and over with Dillon Gabriel. And, for what everybody said, he fits what Kevin Stefanski wants to do. Now, what does Kevin Stefanski want to do? If you guys have watched my episodes lately, I don't even know half the time anymore. But I do really want to see what the offense can look like with a quarterback that, one, Kevin wants, and two, everybody says fits what he wants to do, because Joe Flacco seemed to fit that back in 2023, but it was clear and obvious in these last 4 games that 2023 was a very long time ago in Joe Flacco years, because he has aged tremendously since then. And also, we just kind of caught, fire in a bottle there going against weak defenses toward the end of 2023. So Flacco's down. He's done. He will be the backup, though. So we can kind of transition here into this viral interview that again, we can go any direction with this. Why are people interviewing the third string quarterback for the Cleveland Browns? Well, because his name is Shedeur Sanders, and because he has a huge brand and a huge following. And that's why, they went in yesterday and interviewed him in the locker room, asking him, his thoughts and everything on Dillon Gabriel being named the starter and Joe Flacco being the backup and all those things. And Shedeur said literally nothing. This episode is sponsored by Manly Bands. Browns fans, it's time to kick off the NFL season, and it's also time for you to kick off your wedding band game. Head to manlybands.com right now for their fall wedding sale. Get 30% off site-wide, plus use promo code CAMP25, CAMP25, to get an extra $25 off your order. Manly Bands has the most unique, handcrafted wedding bands for men, and they've got a huge selection, so many different styles, materials, and collections to choose from. Plus, they've got manly gifts for any situation you need, whether you're getting married and you need groomsmen gifts. They've got barware, they've got chains, bracelets, they've got gifts for retirement, and they've got your everyday stuff like lighters and coffee mugs. They've even got ear pods and some pretty cool t-shirts as well. So dive into football season this fall. Head to manlybands.com, 30% off with the fall wedding sale, and get an extra $25 off your order with promo code CAMP25. That's manlybands.com/dogs. This episode is sponsored by Southern New Hampshire University. Browns fans, do you ever feel stuck in your current job? Like, if you just had a different degree or some more education in a certain area, you could do something you really want to do. Well, Southern New Hampshire University has the answers for you. Head over to snhu.edu/bark to learn how you can get started on your new career today. SNHU is one of the largest online accredited universities in the United States, and it's radically affordable. Their online tuition rates are some of the lowest in the nation. So seriously, what are you waiting for? Head over to snhu.edu/bark to learn how you can get started on your degree for your new career, 100% online and 100% on your time. snhu.edu/bark. Because if you did not see the video or watch it or hear about it, he mimed his way through the entire interview. He opened and closed his mouth and spoke without using any words. He didn't vocalize anything. He was kind of like laughing the whole time. And I want to hear what you guys think. So please start filling up the chat. Just let's have a conversation here. Get your hands up if you want to come up and talk about it. Get your thoughts about that whole interview. Me personally, when I first saw it, I was like, did somebody go in and take the audio out of this? Because it was weird. I thought it was super strange. I'm like, this can't be real. There's no way he actually did this. And turns out he did. He actually did it. So if you want my opinion on it, and again, safe space here. If you guys think I'm wrong or whatever, tell me. Let's talk about it. But for me personally, I didn't like it. I did not like. I understand where the people could look at it and say, well, that's pretty funny, because Rex Ryan last week said, Shador Sanders just needs to shut his mouth and go to work and all this stuff. So the next time he was interviewed publicly, he didn't say anything. Okay, that's kind of a jab back at Rex Ryan. But why the hell are you jabbing back at a national media guy? Who cares what he says? So my thought on this, after I watched it, thought about it, read some things other people said, it's like all throughout the pre-draft process, and then after the draft, after he came to Cleveland, all this stuff, there were rumors and some reports and things that Shador Sanders came across immature and entitled and things like that during his interviews with NFL teams during the process. And all I'm saying is like miming your way through an interview after your fellow rookie teammate just got named the starter. It really doesn't do anything to help you put those rumors to bed. I posted this on X. I said, when I initially watched it, all I could think was like, it felt like something a high school kid would do on a dare to try to impress like his buddies and get a laugh out of everybody. This is the NFL. You don't see professional quarterbacks doing this kind of stuff. And I don't know if it's just a case of him being stuck at the bottom of the depth chart without a real easy way up, but I think he just listens way too much to what these national people are saying. And I just feel like a mature quarterback who's focusing on being prepared for when his opportunity comes and all that kind of stuff should really just be ignoring all that stuff, keeping it, out of here, keeping yourself and your focus within the building. I would have been much happier if he'd just said something like, I'm happy for Dillon. I know he's been working hard. He's ready for this opportunity. I hope he brings success for the team. But at the same time, I know I'm also ready for when my opportunity comes, and I'm looking forward to that and all those kind of things. Like, there's a good diplomatic way to answer this question. And if the national people want to twist your words and make headlines out of everything you say, in that statement, well, so be it. Then you guys go do you, and then he just needs to get back to work. So that was kind of my thought on it. I see you guys are really blowing up the chat here. Come on. I know you guys have an opinion on this. Let's hear it. We can talk about it. Put your hand up in the chat if you want to come up here. Did anybody think it was funny or to have a different opinion than me? Colton, I'll bring you up here. The last thing about this that I just want to say is whether you thought it was funny or witty or whether you thought it was immature or childish, whatever. I 100% guarantee you that the Browns no-nonsense brass were not impressed by it. And that's what matters most, because it doesn't matter what you guys think or what I think. In the end, it only matters what the people in charge in Berea think. But Colton, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so I was listening to Up and Adams with Bruce Arians. He gave a pretty good interview about his take on it and everything. And he said, I don't think the Browns are doing a very good job of protecting Shedeur Sanders because he gets in his own way more than anybody else we could probably argue on with in the NFL. What third string quarterback is getting as much media attention as him? It's kind of almost overshadowed Dillon getting his shot this week. So I agree with you. I think our front office is really no nonsense, and we're trying to create a culture of winning and promoting from within. And I don't know. I think he just didn't handle it the right way. And that could be due to immaturity or jealousy, whatever it might be. But I don't think that's a really good way to climb the ladder, to say. I don't think that'd be a good way to get hired in a blue collar or white collar position either. Throwing somebody under the bus or just being as immature as he's been in these recent interviews. But I did think Bruce had a really good point. Like, hey, just don't let him have any media availability. Keep him away from the mic because nothing good's going to come out of it. So just kind of wanted to share that. I was curious of your thoughts on it too. I figured it'd be something good. So thanks for sharing, my friend.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. I'm happy to talk about it. Brad, we'll get you up here in just a second. I did want to mention, I was watching the video on X. Emmanuel Acho was on there, and he was saying that he feels like he feels like Shedeur is not being very welcomed by the Browns. He said it was weird that, I forget what day it was earlier this week, but Shedeur posted a video of his off day workout. Like the team wasn't scheduled or whatever for practice that day. So he was working somewhere or, on a field practicing outside of the facility. And I don't know. I mean, this is just one guy, one former player, but he said he's never seen a player on an active roster working out during the season anywhere outside of the team facility. He kept saying, why is he not at the Browns facility doing these workouts? And I saw other people, excuse me, saying like, his media team, his film crew can't come into the Browns facility and video him, which obviously they want to do a lot of that to, get his videos for TikTok and all that kind of stuff, which, we can all have an opinion on that kind of stuff. As long as it doesn't affect what you're trying to do on the field, it is what it is. But Brad, what do you think about it?
Well, first off, Acho is one of my least favorite TV people because he is one of the number one people that constantly bashes the Browns organization.
Well, they don't do anything to prevent that, unfortunately.
Well, I know. Yeah, they don't help their own. Right. I get that. But and Rex Ryan, sometimes, man, he just like shoots off the hip the most nonsensical things. That's probably like part of the reason the Jets got rid of him a long time ago. He just like doesn't get along with a lot of people, and he just says what's on his mind. As far as how Shedeur handled it, I think it's attributed to his father a little bit, because his father, if you ever watch when he was in the NFL, like any media coverage of him, he was kind of like a jokester and like a kind of very, I don't know, like animated about stuff he would be asked. And I think some of that comes from him. No, it's not all of him, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was a little silly, but I also thought, like, I mean, if he's trying to get favor with Kevin and Andrew Barry and everything, that's not totally a great look, especially when we had history with a certain other pick that wasn't very well looked in the media as well, though he was a first round pick. But be that as it may, I mean, Sanders was supposed to be a first round pick, but obviously we see a little of the immaturity now coming out from reports from other executives. So, you know, if he stays at 3 for now, then he'll be there until further notice, unfortunately. I know people can be mad. People can say this or that, like, oh, the Browns are holding them back. Well, I mean, with that and just like some of other things that have happened, it's like they probably are viewing him as where he's supposed to be right now.
Well, not only that,
that's my view.
Yeah, and you're right on to it there, because the entire league viewed him as no better than a 5th round pick. And exactly. we can argue and cite different things and go back and forth with whoever we want to talk to about it and say, well, he should have been this, he should have been that. But the fact remains.
Stacey texted me at 1:33 and she said they, I guess, still hadn't even started hiking yet. Oh. And it was going to be a few hours.
Is that on you, Brad?
We're probably going to get ready so that we can go ahead.
Okay, that was Brad's mic. Okay, I was like, where is that female voice coming from? I thought Stacey was out of here already. All right, so real quick, we'll look at the chat here. Sorry, guys, my eyes are bad. Ayun says it's probably just because of the advice from his camp as well. Someone thought it would be funny. His dad even posted on social media something like, you know, that's a way to go get it or something like that. Like he was good with how Shedeur handled it, which kind of speaks to what Brad was saying, how his dad handled interviews. But, you know, his dad was not a quarterback. A quarterback needs to be a leader of the entire franchise, not just the team itself, but like the whole organization. And, you know, if we're just going to look at those two, you know, or just the maturity level thing, I mean, it'd be very hard for me to see Dillon Gabriel doing that. I'm just saying, you know, and I feel like Dillon, they've had him pegged as that guy who's ready to go. And, you know, to speak to Dillon, because he is the one starting on Sunday for the Browns, you know, he's played in multiple offensive systems, you know, and he's changed coordinators, he's changed teams, he's gone to different places, and he's been able to pick it up and have success everywhere he's gone. So it just makes sense that kind of translates here to Cleveland, and the Browns feel comfortable with him. Dominus says this seems very reminiscent of Baker Mayfield clapping back at Colin Cowherd, which is what Brad was saying. Yep, it sure does. Cirque says, seems to me he needs some sort of media coaching. He's been raised around fame, I guess, so he may be a little oblivious to how this stuff looks from the outside. And you know what? Now that's an interesting point, how it looks from the outside, because I was thinking about this earlier, and it was, and I already feel like we're spending too much time talking about this when we got a game coming up, but it is a hot topic right now. And it seemed to me, it was last year we said multiple times, Deshaun Watson seems completely tone deaf. Like the entire fan base is pretty much turned against you. You're not in favor, not in good standing with a lot of people here. And a lot of the stuff that he would post on social media or come out and say in the media was like, dude, and I don't have any like good examples off the top of my head, but I just remember thinking like, do you not realize the situation? Can you not read the room? Do you not know that people really just don't like you right now? So maybe just stop it. Just don't say anything or don't post anything, or just if you're going to go on vacation on a yacht, just go do it quietly. Like nobody wants to see that while we're over here freezing our asses off, getting our butts whooped by whatever team as we're struggling to win 3 games. So there is a little bit of tone deafness there. Cirque says, I'm a relatively new fan to the NFL, but I understand his dad was a little bit of a rascal also. So maybe he's trying to live up to that. But at this point, he's not been able to prove he has the ability. So he's, that he should be focusing more on getting his opportunity to shine before he starts pulling these kinds of stunts. Dominic says he's got to go. We'll see you later, buddy. If anybody else wants to talk about this before I move on, go ahead and get your hands up. If not, I'm going to dive into some more stuff about the game. But I guess I can end with this. If you're listen to this after we're done here, if you thought it was funny what Shedeur was doing and it was like no big deal, I get it. Like I can understand where you're coming from. It just, to me, that's not how a leader of the franchise acts. I don't think. It just seemed it did seem immature. I know that might be a word that's going to get people fired up, but that's just the way it definitely seemed. This episode is sponsored by ISSA. Browns fans, if you're into health and fitness, have you ever wondered how you could maybe turn those hobbies and your passion into an actual career? If that sounds interesting to you, then ISSA has the opportunity you've been looking for. ISSA is the International Sports Science Association, and they can help you become a certified personal trainer in as little as 3 months. And right now you can get $100 off your certification when you sign up through our link, joinissa.com/Dawgs, DAWGS. Now, certifications are 100% online, self-study, and self-paced. You can study anywhere from your phone, tablet, or computer. And the final exam is open note, open book, aka piece of cake. Except you fitness nuts probably don't eat a ton of cake, so let's just call it a piece of delicious protein bar. And ISSA has the #1 job guarantee in the industry. If you get certified and sign up to be a certified trainer with ISSA, you have a job guarantee or your money back. ISSA has over 10,000 gym partners that have over 73,000 open jobs for trainers right now. And you don't need a 4-year degree or a 2-year degree. You just need your certification to qualify for these jobs. So what are you waiting for? With certification this simple, there's no excuse not to pursue your passion and become a certified personal trainer today. Get $100 off your certification at joinissa.com/Dawgs. You've wanted to make a change long enough. Now it's time to do something about it. That's joinissa.com/Dawgs for $100 off your personal trainer certification. Colton says, change of topic. Thank you. We probably need one here. He says, but could you see us seeking out a wide receiver via trade before the deadline with Judy's drop issues and Tillman's injury? No. No, I don't see us seeking out. I don't see us being buyers at the trade deadline. I see us being big time sellers. Unfortunately, I think there's some players on this team that could get moved. I think there's players on this team that are going to be very desirable by other teams that are trying to make a push for the playoffs and think they have a shot this year. That's not us. It's not us at all. But to talk about the wide receiver core, I got these notes in here, but we can jump around here. This wide receiver core on Sunday, I don't know if you guys have been following. It's going to be bad. It's going to be real bad. And I feel bad for Dillon Gabriel. He had the comment that got taken way out of context about, if you always wait for the perfect time, you're going to be waiting your whole life. And he was just talking about, because he was asked about starting the game over in London. The team was really hoping Joe Flacco was going to be able to, be out there for more of the season. So Dillon had more time to kind of develop and get his feet wet in the NFL and all that kind of stuff. But, he's kind of getting thrust in this opportunity a little earlier than the Browns had hoped. And he made a good point, though. Like if you wait until you're absolutely ready for it, you'll probably never be ready. They say that about kids, and I can totally, agree. If you wait until you're ready, till you think you're absolutely ready to have kids, you will never have kids because you will never be ready. You just need to do it. If you think you want to do it, you just need to do it. That sort of thing. So Dillon Gabriel's got himself prepared. He was ready for his opportunity. It just comes in a terrible situation for him. This offensive line is bad. It is really bad. We've got, it's going to be probably Cornelius Lucas at right tackle. And then you've got the newcomer, Cam Robinson, the Browns just traded for this week over at left tackle. I mean, Cornelius Lucas was horrible last week against TJ Watt and Cam Robinson. At least he's not like a practice squad career backup type of tackle. He is a career starter. I'm not saying he's a high-end starter, but he is a career starter. So that's at least good for that side of the ball, or for that side of the line. But the interior, they're older, they're slower. We're just not getting the push up front. Where the pass protection is not great. But this is why Dillon, being on time and on target, playing within rhythm and everything with the offense, that's going to be key. But this wide receiver core that they are rolling out there for Dillon Gabriel, it's criminal. It is criminal. Yes, it is Mr. Drop Everything, Jerry Jeudy, and Cedric Tillman and DeAndre Carter both now on IR, which leaves, after Jerry Jeudy, there's only two other receivers that were on the initial 53-man roster. And it's second-year guy, Jamari Thrash, and rookie who missed all of preseason and training camp, Isaiah Bond. Those two, after Jerry Jeudy, have 14 career receptions in the NFL combined. That's it. That is what you're working with if you're Dillon Gabriel. And then after that, it's two more rookies up from the practice squad. Well, not rookies, I'm sorry. Two more guys up from the practice squad. You got rookie Gage Larvidan, and then third-year guy who might as well be a rookie because he only caught 3 passes, I think, for 16 yards last year with the Jets, Malachi Corley. That rounds out your wide receiver core. So let's go through it one last time if you weren't following. Jerry Jeudy, Jamari Thrash, Isaiah Bond, Gage Larvidan, and Malachi Corley. There's a reason why this game is at 35.5 points. It's not going to be good. And I can jump into some of these stats here for the teams. The Browns still have the number 1 defense in the league. They're allowing just 225.5 yards per game. But this is where it gets tricky. The Browns allow the 4th fewest passing yards per game at 152.3, but the Vikings are even better. They allow the 3rd fewest passing yards per game at 155.5. So Dillon Gabriel isn't just getting his first start over in London, his first time out of the country with a crap wide receiver core. He's also going against the 3rd best pass defense in the NFL. So we've really got to temper our expectations if we feel like we have lofty ones for what Dillon Gabriel might be able to do in this first game. I mean, this is a top 3 passing defense that we are rolling him out there against. They have a seriously good pass rush. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. The Browns are still number 1 defense against the run, just 70.3 yards per game. The Vikings, on the other hand, they do give it up on the ground so far this season, 130.3 yards per game. So if we're going to win this game or have a chance to win or be competitive, it has got to be through a strong run game, successful run game on the ground. If we cannot run the ball well, then we're probably screwed. We are probably screwed because, again, like I said, top 3 passing defense, going against a 3rd-round rookie in his first start. It sucks that the Browns are the 3rd lowest rushing offense in the league at 84.8. To me, this has the makings of a very, obviously, low-scoring game, probably a close game for a while, where, unfortunately, mistakes on the offensive side of the ball or the special teams are just going to, again, give the game away. I'm not saying, like last week against the Lions, I felt like we didn't have a shot. Did not feel like we had a shot against them. Against the Vikings, this is one kind of similar to the Packers where if things, the defense continues to play well and we don't give up any big plays or broken plays, miscommunications, to Jefferson or Addison or any of these guys, then it's one of those things where if it comes down to a couple mistakes here and there, maybe on the Viking side at the end of the game, maybe the Browns squeak out a win, but I don't think there's any way we come out and just like demonstratively take it to them. Let's see. Okay, well, get your thoughts in the chat, guys. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Ayun says everything points toward turnovers, O-line, wide receivers, Vikings, corners. Isaiah Rodgers is a ball hawk, not to mention the potential height issue. Yeah, I mean, if I'm the defensive coordinator, defensive line coach for the Vikings, I'm telling my guys, obviously we're rushing the passer. Get your hands up. Just get your hands up. He's 5'10". He's 5'11". Get your hands up. That's a good point. We're probably going to see some batted balls. There's going to be some growing pains. We're starting a rookie in his first game ever. And this is the Cleveland Browns we're talking about. Again, wide receiver core, terrible. Probably the worst wide receiver core maybe anybody's ever rolled out. I don't know. But this is bad. Like, it's really bad. And then the offensive line is struggling. We got replacements already in there at the tackles. It's a mess. So there's definitely going to be some growing pains for Dillon Gabriel. The Vikings, they are a top 10 defense in points allowed, just allowing 20 points per game. The Browns have only scored 20 points or more 3 times in the last 21 games. So that's why I'm not hopeful it's going to happen in this one. On the flip side, the Browns as a team are allowing opponents to score 25.5 points per game. And despite shaky quarterback play, which we'll get to here, the Vikings are still a top 10 scoring team at 25.5 points per game. The Browns are second to last in the NFL at a pathetic 14 points per game. And that is only second to the Tennessee Titans, who are terrible at 12 points per game. So again, in the turnover battle, Browns have to play mistake-free against the Vikings defense. They have 7 takeaways on the season. The Browns only have 2. On the positive side, I guess, if you can call this a positive, the Browns lead the league with 8 turnovers, but the Vikings are right behind us with 7. So we're pretty close in that department. As far as the quarterback is concerned for the Vikings, J.J. McCarthy not practicing this week, most likely is going to be Carson Wentz. I think I saw some reports pretty much confirming that. He's a turnover-prone quarterback that I think we can get after with the pass rush, but we'll just kind of see how it goes. I do not want to underestimate what Kevin O'Connell has been able to do in Minnesota with subpar quarterbacks over his time there, because when we talk about a QB guru, that's Kevin O'Connell, not really Kevin Stefanski, but we'll see how things look here with Dillon Gabriel. Their top running back, Aaron Jones, he's on IR. So it's Jordan Mason is their main running back. And he is like the bigger bruising type of running back that we've had great success shutting down so far this season. So I feel confident that we can clamp down on their run game, force everything to be facilitated through Carson Wentz in the passing game. It's going to come down to, can our pass rush force him into mistakes, force him into hurried throws, maybe get a strip sack, maybe, get him to hurry a throw, and then it's going to come to the secondary. Can we actually start converting some of these turnovers? Because again, we only have 2. We are not a defense that over the last, 22 games have created a whole lot of takeaways. So we need to be able to do that to give our offense a chance. Like we were talking about earlier, it's going to come down to probably kicking field goals. I don't know how many touchdowns are really going to be scored either way in this game. But they do have, as bad as our wide receiver room is and our weapons, as weak as that area is, that's how strong they are. They have, arguably the best wide receiver in all of football, Justin Jefferson, and Jordan Addison would probably be the wide receiver 1 on, 20 teams, at least half the league, probably teams that don't have like a solidified alpha wide receiver. That could be Jordan Addison for a lot of teams. He would definitely be the number 1 for us. And so on their side of the ball, their right tackle, I believe, let me see if I got to pull up the injury report here. He, I believe, is out for this game with a knee injury. Overall, their offensive line seems to be kind of banged up. But then again, like I said, we're starting a backup tackle on a guy that we just traded for 2 days ago. Mike Hall Jr. has already been ruled out for this game with his knee injury. That'll be his 5th game this year. Obviously, he hasn't played yet, so missed all 5 games so far this year. And then if we just kind of go through this injury report, it looks like Jack Conklin was practicing in a limited fashion the last 2 days. But he's also been practicing, I think, a little bit limited the last couple weeks and still hasn't played. And then, Mike Hall, there's the ankle injury for Myles Garrett that we got to look out for. He did not practice yesterday, limited, or projected limited today in their walkthrough in London. And then I think that's pretty much it as far as what we need to worry about for the Browns. So is there anything else about this game, about the Browns, Dillon Gabriel, the Vikings, all this stuff that you guys want to talk about? I see we've got Dave, Ayun, and Cirque in the audience. Any of you guys want to jump up here and chat, or did we pretty much cover everything for this game? Or did you guys want to talk any more about the Shedeur miming thing or anything like that? I think that this could be a game. I see there's some messages coming in the chat. Any chance we can get Samson involved? Okay, I was just going to say, I was going to talk about Quinshon Judkins being probably the key for our offense to do really anything this week. It's going to, like I said, have to go through the run game. That's going to have to be Quinshon Judkins. The Browns don't seem very interested in getting Dillon Sampson involved, unfortunately. After week 1, when he caught, was it 8 passes for like 63 yards or something? Yeah, he's only had a couple touches here and there in the last 3 games. I mean, Blake harped on this it was last week or the week before, how we need to get some of these other guys involved in the run game. And this is why we'd like to see maybe some more Raheem Sanders on the active roster, instead of like Jerome Ford or whatever, because we cannot keep giving Quinshon Judkins 20 plus touches or carries, because he's getting more than that with the receptions he's getting too, in every single game. Like, you're going to run this guy into the ground. And while, yes, he's a 21 or, year-old rookie running back, he's young and all that stuff, you don't want him to get hurt. And you don't want to wear him down so much that next year or the year after, when maybe we're competitive, now he's already got all this mileage on his NFL mileage on his body, and he's starting to break down already or anything like that. So we do need to be able to offset what we're doing with Quinshon, and I would love to see them get Dillon Sampson more involved. I've been asking for this. And I know a lot of people say, well, he can't pass block, and that's why he's not in there. I'm not asking for them to bring him into pass block. I understand that situation. I get it. I know that if you want to be in there on third down or passing downs, you got to be able to pass block too, so they don't know if you're blocking, going for a route, whatever. Run some design plays to get the ball in this guy's hands, because he has shown, week 1, that when you get the ball in his hands in space, he can do some stuff. He's a dangerous weapon. And I just don't feel like we're being creative in trying to get him the ball or anything like that. And was it Colton earlier that said probably going to be a vanilla offense? Probably going to be very, very basic and vanilla. Again, Dillon Gabriel's first ever NFL start, going against the top 3 pass defense. I really think they're going to try to facilitate as much of this game as they can through Judkins and the run game, and get it out of Gabriel's hands as much as possible. That's my expectations for this one. Fatal Gnome, I see you are typing. Let's get your comment on here, and then I guess we'll wrap it up since nobody else wants to come up on stage. I appreciate everybody tuning in. If you're listening, watching this after the fact, Fatal Gnome, he says, if the play action can actually operate, I think we'll do well. When we've executed, all caps, when we've executed Stefanski's offense has rolled, we saw it often with Baker and even Flacco end of 2023, but we've been overwhelmingly one-dimensional and vanilla because the execution hasn't been flowing. I think with Gabriel being Stefanski's guy, we'll be rolling this week. DPJ was Pro Bowl caliber with Mayfield in this offense, and he's not playing anymore. These wide receivers can make things happen with a well-executed offense. Okay, you know me, you were saying in the chat earlier that you are like going on record saying we will win this week on Sunday. And I see what you're saying. I've watched this team now for 4 weeks this year and all 17 last year, and it had not been pretty. It is. He says, yes, sir. I know. Hey, man, listen, if they come out and they're just, it's like, wow, we're going to win this game. That would be great. I think there's a chance, obviously. I do give us a chance to win this game, but it's going to be more like the Packers game where it's going to be close. We cannot screw up. We cannot make mistakes. We cannot give up a freaking punt return we cannot let them block a kick and return it. We can't do that stupid crap on special teams that we seem to do every week. This has to be a mistake-free game, just like it was against the Packers, for us to win. I do think we can, but it's not going to be easy, I don't think. I hope I'm wrong. I would love to see this offense come out and just spark alive with Dillon Gabriel and everything, but I am definitely tempering my expectations. But if you guys are listening to this, watching this after the fact, drop it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Do the Browns have a shot at winning this game? Do you not give us a chance in hell? How do you think Dillon Gabriel is going to do? Let's start predicting some of his final stat lines. Remember, the Vikings are a top 3 passing defense when you're making those predictions. And this is his first start. Noam says, it reminds me of the 49ers game we won in a slugfest low score. Yeah, that's right. Back in 2023 in Cleveland, it was rainy. Jake Moody missed that field goal at the end of the game. PJ Walker almost gave it away, throwing a near interception in the end zone, all that kind of stuff. We've definitely had some of those games, and this could be one like that for sure. So let me know what you guys think about the Shedeur miming thing, all that stuff. I appreciate you tuning in, you guys here in the Discord. Thank you for coming into another episode. And I don't like last week when I had to do this by myself. That's not fun. I don't like talking about these preview games all by myself. I love hearing from you guys. and getting your feedback, your opinions, your thoughts, all that kind of stuff. So come back next week. We'll do it again when we preview the Browns versus the Steelers. But right now, let's have some optimistic, cautiously optimistic. Let's do that for the Browns on Sunday. Cirque, we'll get your comment in here real quick. It says, if the offense doesn't start to do well, or at least better, not necessarily winning games, but just doing well, how soon do you think the defense just starts to give up for the season? Feels like this might be a make or break game. Yeah, I'm definitely concerned about that too, man. Like, I am concerned that if this offense continues to be a 14 points or less per game type of offense, this defense is not going to be able to do what it's doing for an entire season like this. And I forget let me see if I can pull it up, that note I had last week. Blake Williams on X said that the number one defense, so the defense that finished number one in the NFL at the end of the season, the worst that team has ever finished is 500. And it's happened twice, in 2012 and 1977. The average record for a team that has the number one defense in the league is 12-5. So just that right there tells me we will not finish the season with the number one defense, because there's no way in hell we're getting to 12-5. He said law of averages says this season goes one of two ways. The team either fractures and the defense gets dragged down, or the Browns end up at least 500. And I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but my money would definitely be on the team fractures and defense gets dragged down side of that equation. Blake says defense should never give up. I watched the Steelers defense carry them to 8-9 wins every year. They should take it upon themselves to be the unit that carries. Yeah, it'd be nice. Be nice. This is the Browns, though. It's not the Steelers. Just is what it is, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know about the culture here. Cirque says, I agree, but we already see a decline in games. How soon does that start at the beginning of games? Yeah, well, yeah, when they're on the field for the majority of the game, yeah, sure, by the end of the game. We saw this last year. There were a lot of games, and, the end of season statistics don't necessarily say the Browns were one of the best defenses in 2024. But if you watch the games last year, like, I think about the Chiefs game in Cleveland last year. I mean, that was a close game up through halftime. Our defense clamped down on Mahomes and that Chiefs offense. They really couldn't do anything. Second half was a different story because our offense was 3 and out. Defense can only do so much when you're on the field that much, and then you're getting, no momentum built on the other side of the ball, no motivation. There's just no energy. It all plays a factor. So I'm with you there. You could start to see the defense maybe not be quite so fierce as the season goes on, especially for 1-6, 1-7, 1-8, that kind of thing. I hope not. I hope Blake's right and that the defense really takes it upon themselves. We'll see. I saw Myles Garrett's face last week when, we were down 34-10 and, he was over on the sideline. It just looked like, man, what am I doing here? But we'll see. Maybe the Browns could come out of this, come back home with a 2-3 record going into Pittsburgh and, getting that our pass rush against Aaron Rodgers. Hey, anything could happen. We'll see what happens. Cirque says either way, hopefully it'll be a good game. I'll be there. My first time seeing the Browns, so I'll have fun for sure. I didn't realize you were over there. You're in London. Good for you, man. Congratulations. Have fun. Send us some pictures here in the Discord. Anything that you would, feel comfortable with us posting to social media, we would love to do that and highlight your experience over there. And make sure you let us know on Sunday what it's like. What's the atmosphere like? Because I've never been over to London or anything, and I've obviously never been to a game overseas. So I think this would be really cool to be at. So good for you. Congratulations. And I really do want to hear about that. So thanks again, everybody, tuning in. I'm going to wrap this thing up, get out of here, go watch the Guardians, hopefully beat the Tigers and move on here in the playoffs, because we need a Cleveland team that we can actually, go into a game and say, hey, we will hopefully win this game, and we're expecting it. But appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll be with you probably again Sunday night. We'll do the live show with our reactions after the Browns-Vikings game on. Again, don't forget to set your alarms because it is Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. We'll see you guys on Sunday.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dawgs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedawgspodcast.com.
BetterHelp. Browns fans, if you're like me, the stresses in life only increase the older you get. Your family, your job, your bank account, just a few things that drive the cycle of stress every day. And if you have people constantly depending on you, it can put a heavy weight on your mental health. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? Why does no one appreciate everything I'm trying to do for them? If these thoughts have ever darkened your day, one, you're not alone, and two, I highly recommend talking to someone, and that's where BetterHelp could be the right resource for you. Head to BetterHelp, HELP.com/Dawgs, DAWGS for 10% off your first month of talk therapy. Just fill out a simple questionnaire and BetterHelp will match you with the best therapist for your needs. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists at any time for no extra cost. BetterHelp is 100% online. You can talk with your therapist on the phone, via face chat, or even through text message. Your therapist will listen, ask questions, and help you see things from new perspectives. So what are you waiting for? Take the first step to making positive improvements in your life. Head to BetterHelp.com/Dawgs now for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Dawgs for 10% off your first month.